this computer. Hey, Kieran, mate. I think we're recording. We're going live. I've been wanting to interview you for ages in person, as we've spoken about, and things have happened. But it's all good because of the COVID-19 and the lockdown. We've had to do it this way, but I'm really excited to be doing it. So I wanted to bring Kieran on, guys and girls, whoever's listening, because he's got a really good story. I've known Kieran for a long time. He's a really great guy, very positive. And we didn't plan today's interview. We just wanted to catch up. So I'm going to interview him about his journey with business. He's living out in Thailand now. He's been through a lot of fears and anxieties. He's helped a lot of people with his business, and it'll be great to get his story. So thanks for coming on to the Become Fearless podcast, Kieran. I really appreciate it, especially at short notice as well. I didn't give you any preparation or anything like that.
Johnny, thanks for having me on your show. And no, it's great. I'll be happy to share my my background, my experience, and my journey. If I can help and inspire others, then I'm more than happy to do that. Really am.
Yeah, that would be great. And I'm going to keep this like very, very conversational. I'm really trying to get better as an interviewer. I really just want to like be myself and make it very easy going and non-formal. So I'm just going to throw it out, Kieran. I want to get you to talk about your journey with business. I know you're very passionate about business and entrepreneurship, and your passion is unbelievable. When I'm around you, we have conversations. It's really inspiring. So, how did you come across getting into business and what you're doing now? That would be great if we could start there.
Sure. Well, the early part of my job life. Working life was, so I left uni in 2003, and I had this pressure on me to go out there and get a job, because that was kind of what was drummed into myself anyway from a young age. You know, society in the UK wants you to, go to school, try and go to college if you can, get a uni degree, because you need this piece of paper to go and get a good job and work your way up and get promotions, etc., etc. So I left uni and I found myself in a position where I didn't know what I wanted to do. What I did know was there wasn't any job role that interested me. So I ended up applying for a whole load of jobs that either I wasn't getting or I didn't want to do. So what happened was I kind of got into a rut of ending up taking jobs that I didn't actually didn't want to do. I didn't like them. So what happened was I ended up spending a number of years going from one job that I hated to another, to another, to another. I've worked in some bizarre jobs that have no relation to each other. I'm talking like I've worked as a security guard in a prison, to an electrical firm, working on a golf course, a bartender, a call center, rental car company. I've worked in for a couple of sales companies. I've worked in restaurants. I worked as a waiter. I've worked in another couple of office jobs. I worked for local government in the council for 2, 3, 4 years. All of these jobs, I as much as I enjoyed working with some of the people there and a few other small attributes within the companies itself, on a whole, I found, I would say, most of my time there miserable. I was extremely unhappy, to the point where I would say I was verging on depression. And I had this through, I would say, up until 29, 30, maybe 30, 31 years old. So a long time. So I grew up with this, spending most of my waking day in my week just feeling terrible. And, I'd finish work on a Friday evening, or some jobs it was working night shift. and I'll be looking forward to the days off. Before I knew it, I'm back again doing something I don't want to do. And I thought to myself, there's got to be something that is there for me, something that I can do, that I enjoy, where I'm actually fulfilling a purpose in me or helping others. No matter how, the harder I looked, the less I could find it. And it got really frustrating to be able to not to enjoy my life. So this changed when my cousin rang me up one day. He said to me, there's an event down by near Heathrow Airport, down by one of the hotels there. I said, what's the event about? He goes, it's called the World Internet Summit. I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. It sounds interesting. I knew roughly what was going to be in store there, but I had no idea that 3-hour seminar would go on to change my business aspect of my life, and I would say my life, because it's rubbed off in other areas. So anyway, that event was a selection of speakers that were on stage giving a presentation about where their lives were to where they are now. And a lot of them, when they explained where their lives were very similar to where I was sitting on that chair in that crowd. They were very unhappy, they felt unfulfilled, they felt demoralized, angry, frustrated, upset, lonely, just tired of trying to find the right job, their position in life. And then they went on to say how their lives are now, and how they got there. And the way that they all got there was by setting up online businesses. And when I saw this, my jaw dropped to the floor. I couldn't believe that you could make money from a laptop, a computer, or even like your mobile. And they would say they'd go to bed, they'd wake up in the morning, check their computer screen of the payments made from selling whatever they were selling, and have all these numbers there of money. And I was like, at that moment, I knew that I would do whatever it takes to have that lifestyle, not just because of the money, because obviously we all want the money for obvious reasons. Money buys you choices, it buys you freedom, it buys you lots of things. But the main thing I wanted it for was I wanted to enjoy what I do, and I wanted to buy my time back. I wanted to decide what I do in my life, when I do it, and who I do it with. I didn't want another human being telling me in an office that I have to be here during these times, and you can't just walk out. You can't just take these days off with no notice. That's, for some people, that's what they want to do, and I respect them for that, because it's what they want to do and they enjoy it. And for them, I feel great happiness for them. But for me, in my life, that's not what I want to do. It didn't feel right. I felt suffocated. I felt like I was worth so much more, but not on an arrogant level, looking down towards them. And from that moment onwards, I left that conference and I went on a journey to learn how to make a business online. And at the start, it wasn't easy. I began trying a number of different things online in order to make a business work, and I failed. To myself back then, I said to myself, I just failed again. I just spent like 3 months building this website, didn't work. I just spent all this time uploading products to eBay and Amazon, didn't work. I would try a number of things, Facebook pages, I do affiliate marketing, blog post writing, I would do everything. This went on for about a year and a half, while I still worked at where was I back then? I was in my council, working for Buckinghamshire County Council in their adult care division. Very low paid job, very kind of like traditional style office, not lovely people, but no progress for me on any level of my being, emotionally, physically, no stimulation whatsoever. I literally felt like I was just decaying. There was no forward movement in my life. So I kept that job going. And on the, I think it was a year and a half after I started learning about online, I started making money selling items on Amazon and eBay. And it was at that point when I started selling items and making money coming into my PayPal account that something clicked. I had confirmation that it works. I had the confidence that what I was doing worked. And I never gave up that year and a half. I kept going. I was working weekends. I wouldn't go out Friday, Saturday nights. I was staying all Sunday, hour or two every weekday. And I'd keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And because I found when I discovered that it worked, that was it. I knew then that there was no way out, and it gave me the confidence to believe that I'm going to keep going. So after the Amazon eBay businesses, I began looking at, I began growing those accounts on eBay and Amazon. I'd start to do physical products. I'd order stock in from China, pack it, post it myself. I'd be in my bedroom, like packing like 100 parcels, loads of envelopes, putting the labels on, going to the post office. And some of these parcels I'd only make about like literally £1 on. But if you're doing like 20, 30 a day, then you know that can add up to a nice amount each month. But it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, I'll spend hours, like all day, all weekend, just packing these parcels, even at nights till midnight, 1 in the morning, and wake up at like 5:30, go to my office job. So it wasn't easy. It was tough. But what kept me going was the amount of pain that I was in my life. I had to have that pain in me to move forward, because without that, I would probably stay where I was. And it was also the desire I had, the desire to change my life and have a better life, which I never thought was possible when I was younger, but I had to build up my belief system through looking at other people, relating to where they were, where they are now. So after I started having some success with Amazon and eBay, I began looking at e-commerce stores. I discovered a guy online, a guy called Anton, and he said, you can do something called drop shipping. And I was like, what's drop shipping? He described it. He said, how would you like to make money for your own website selling products, but you don't own the products? So you don't need to buy any stock. And I was like, well, how's that going to work? How are you going to sell products by having no stock? Doesn't make any sense. He described it. He said, the way you go to like a big retail store, like for your UK viewers, we have places called Argos, right? Where you go in, Argos, you look at catalogue, and you buy a 3-piece settee or sofa set, you pay them, but Argos might not have those sofas sitting behind in their shop. What they'll do is they'll go to their manufacturer, they'll pay the manufacturer. Say I gave Argos £300 for a sofa, they'll pay the manufacturer £150, and the manufacturer will ship that sofa to myself, bypassing Argos, and Argos will keep the difference. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. So after a couple of days thought, I decided to buy his course. Bought his course and I watched it twice over. It was a 12-hour video course. I watched it twice. I took notes. I digested every piece of info he taught me. And I thought, right, I'm ready. I'm going to build my first website. I had to find a niche first. Chose the niche. Built the site. It took me 3 months, constantly on it. Did it all myself. Learned everything about it. Building websites, writing it all out. I got a bit of help from a developer because I didn't know about coding. And other bits and pieces to do SEO. Anyway, did the website, ran it for a few months, and only saw one product. I got feedback from different people. I said, well, I understand why it's not working. It's a good site, it's a good niche. They couldn't work it out. So I did as much as I could with it, and then I left it. It didn't work. So after that, I thought to myself, I'm not going to give up. I've just learned a whole load of things just now. Let's go again. Chose another niche, tried that, built it. Within a 1 month period, it was an instant success, making sales every single day. Had that store for 2.5 years. Then I thought, let's get it valued. Someone told me it's worth a lot of money, these dropship stores, due to the very minimal amount of work involved in running them and the money you can make. It's like you work like an hour a day, if that. Got it valued from a big company in the States, biggest in the world actually, that sells online businesses. They valued it at above 6 figures. I literally couldn't believe it. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it and do it again. So I sold it. I didn't get the six figures that I got, but I accepted an offer below that. So I did that. I paid off a few debts that I had. I left my job. Actually, I left my job before. I left my job while I had that store. So I was living off the proceeds from the store. So I already was that. And that was the last time, like to this day, I've actually worked for somebody else. And for the last 7-8 years, I've been doing the same stores. I've got 5 or 6 of them at the moment. 3 of them are with my a business partner that I have. And I have that, and I set up a digital marketing agency 2 years ago. So my business now is all online. It's e-commerce, it's drop shipping, and it's helping other people as well to either help them break out of any unhappiness they have in their lives, whether it be they're stuck in a 9-to-5 job that they hate, give them the confidence and the belief that they can also go out and turn their passion or hobbies into an online business. Because I would say at the moment, we're a generation that is incredibly lucky to be living where we are now. The fact that our great-grandparents had to work in the mines or factories or doing jobs where they grafted all day to earn a few shillings. But now we have tools like these where we can literally set something up, and it takes work at the start. You set it up, a business, wherever it's going to be, and you can literally make a living from this. And you can have your freedom. You can spend more time with your family, your friends. You can travel the world. You can be free. You don't need to, if you don't want to, live in those old traditional belief systems that tell you have to get a job that you don't like because it's what we've been told you have to do. You don't have to do that anymore. And I believe everyone has, if you think you don't have anything you can offer the world, you're not looking hard enough. I guarantee you, everybody has something that you know or can do better than anybody else on this earth. That could be anything. That could be, you could be the best at setting up a fly fishing rod. You could be the best at teaching guys how to dribble a basketball. You could be the best at great greyhound racing betting. You could be the best at how to build sandcastles, how to make fudge brownies. You will have something you could do better than anybody else. And I'm trying to tell people that if there's something you can do really well, there'll be a bunch of people on this earth that are willing to pay you money to receive the value you got to offer. So that's basically my journey where I am now. And it's, well, I can't really see myself going back to any type of a job role. That's dependent on salary. If someone offered me like a ridiculous sum to do something, then that's different. If it was something that I thought, right, the company looks great, I like why you want me there, and I think I could help you out, and I'm going to enjoy it, and you're paying me a whole load of money for my time, that's different. But unless that comes, I'm staying where I am. I'm going to keep on this lifestyle, keep growing the businesses, and see what happens.
Wow, that was that was really something listening to that. That was by the way, you got a real gift for speaking, Kieran. I said that to you before. You really speak with passion. It's so many lessons there. You pretty much answered every single question, which makes my life easier. That was you know, if anyone's listening to this channel, you really want to subscribe. And Kieran gave away so many key things. I'm going to just try and quickly break down and summarize his journey, the key things. You can tell me if I'm right, Kieran, and so people can get a lot of tools from this and go out and practice it for themselves. Sounds like, first of all, obviously you found this seminar. So you educated yourself. You got the education, which I talk a lot about on this channel. You educated yourself. Then you invested in a mentor. You got the guy's online program. You watched it twice, which was 12 hours, which is dedication. And then you started taking action. So you educated yourself. You got a mentor. You said you failed a lot at the start, which I found always happens, but you stuck at it and you figured it out until you found what did work. You succeeded. So did I follow the story? Was that correct, Kieran? It sounded like that. I just sort of sympathized what you did. And also I've noticed, which can help a lot of people, you said a great thing earlier on that I thought about yesterday when I was walking in central London, just going for a walk. You said, when your passion overrides your pain, that's what motivates you to keep going when things are difficult, and that's what gets you excited. And it seems like you followed your intuitive passion. You woke up in a sense from, I suppose, the beliefs that all of us are taught in society, that you have to go to work and work for someone even if you don't enjoy it, and you found freedom. You found freedom in your own life through taking all those steps, which is incredible. Could talk, you know, so much more about it, but does that kind of summarize what you did, Kieran?
Yeah, and based on what you just said about, I had to experience that pain. I do believe that it was something I had to go through. I had to go through all those remedial jobs over the years. I had to feel that darkness and that feeling of loss. I don't know what I wanted to do, and it got to a point where I couldn't handle living my life like that anymore. I think I just snapped. I think it was a matter of not just over weeks or months. It happened within a day. I just said to myself, that's it. I literally, if I'm going to live on this earth as a human being, I can't keep working like this, because what you do in your life work-wise is a significant part of your waking day. It's massive. You know, you're talking, you know, you'll get up in the morning, go to your job, come back. If you commute as well, you might get back at like 7, 8 p.m. You have your dinner, hour TV, whatever you can do to unwind, and you're back in bed again, ready to get up. And if you hate your job, that means you hate your whole Monday morning to Friday evening. Now that to me is it's disastrous. It's almost unimaginable. You can waste that amount of your life doing something that you don't want to do. So I had to go for myself. I had to go through these years of darkness and pain. The pain, I had to have the pain there to elevate me to what I wanted to do. I think I heard, I think it was Tony Robbins, I could be wrong here, that said this, but he said people only act out of from two places, either desperation or inspiration. And for me, I look back on that and I think it was a mixture of both. I was inspired by who I was seeing and I wanted a piece of it. And I was desperate to get away from where I was, because I couldn't handle being there anymore. It was making me feel depressed and sick and horrible. And I knew that, you know, I'm not the kind of guy to like do anything stupid with myself and, you know, something crazy. So I knew that wasn't an option. So if I'm going to be here, let's do this on my terms. Let's live my life how I want to live it. And it's not been easy. It's been a lot of emotional challenges. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of people criticizing and giving me feedback, like, what you're doing, you know, why aren't you getting the job? Your money's almost run out. I used to have things like this. Oh, you should get a job from family were telling me this, friends, not so much friends, mainly family. It was society saying you should play it safe, get a job, you know, you get wages every month, the security. I had loads of ways that for me to fail. So I just kind of had to block that out and say to myself, well, look, this is my life. Others have done it. They're human like me. If they can do it, then I know that I can do it. So I just kind of kept going. So yeah, you're right in what you're saying. There was a lot of struggle, a lot of darkness, a lot of pain. But I think it was a fundamental, important aspect of my journey. Because without that, if I had a job that I, you know, actually liked, it was all right, paid okay, then it wouldn't give me that desire or hunger to really aim high. So yeah, you're absolutely right in what you said.
That's brilliant. KYRON, as this show is about helping people to become fearless, and I'm glad that you were open about your depression. I really appreciate that. It takes a lot of courage. A lot of people struggle with it. Probably most of the people that are going to subscribe to this channel would have definitely experienced depression, anxiety in their life, or are going through it right now. I know you've done some other types of training. I'm really interested in getting as much help and information from people who have learned to control their fear and their anxiety, because I think a lot of people haven't developed that skill yet, and maybe they're not aware that they can develop that skill, and the value of being able to control your own emotions in order to be able to do things like change jobs, travel. So you've definitely done that. That's evident. Can you, do you mind sharing some techniques that you've developed, or if you can explain how you've handled your own adrenaline and fear? And I know, if you don't mind me saying, KYRON, I know you've got some background, you've done some martial arts training, you've done different types of stuff. I think, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said you've done Krav Maga is one of the, and you've done other stuff. And I'm fascinated by that, because I like bringing in different elements to give people different ideas and ways in which they can change their life. Because like you said, everyone's got a story, everyone's got something unique. So yeah, it would be great if you could share some tools or different types of exposure therapy that you've done to get better at controlling fear.
Yeah, so growing up, I was I think what you'd call extremely socially awkward in social settings. Very I had very high social anxiety. I believe it was brought on. There was a couple of catalysts probably in my schooling days, the age of 13, 14, 15, that brought it on. Events that happened whilst at school that kind of triggered these events, which took me into from extremely anxious into a really bad deep depression, where I was stuck in my thoughts, shall we say. So I'd be here, I'd be thinking someone, but I wouldn't actually be here. I'd be either reflecting on negative scenarios from what just happened in my past, or I would be conjuring up what could go wrong in the future, and I'd be worrying about things that I had to do tomorrow, next week, getting up to go to my job that I hate, having to pay this bill off, how am I going to fix my car? It would all be negative thoughts, because each thought either has the feeling to make you feel worse or better than you already were. There's only two ways it can go, every thought you have. All my thoughts will make me feel worse. So I was constantly feeling low and negative and stressed. And people notice this quite easily. They often ask me, hey, KYRON, are you all right? You cool? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But I wasn't, never fine when I was out. I could be in a bar full of my friends, and, you know, luckily I had good friends that didn't abandon me for being a depressive, melancholy person that didn't really speak to people. So it was so bad at one point, my social anxiety, that I would go to relatives' birthday parties. Imagine my cousin's birthday party. We're all 16 years old, like a family gathering. It would be so bad that we go into the house and my cousin would be like, "Oh yeah, you made it," and then everyone's in the lounge, the door will be shut. It would be so bad that I'd have to send my 13-year-old brother and my 10-year-old sister into the lounge first to see all the relatives, and I literally would be shaking with fear to go in there and see my family. I'd sit on the stairs for like 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
And I knew this was not right. It got to a point where this was bad. Another time, somehow I managed to have interest from girls, believe it or not, in the mental state that I was in. So I'm fortunate for the just having that. And I remember I was with this very attractive girl. Gave her number to my mate to give to me, and I'll tell you what, this piece of paper back then, I had it in my room for about a week. I couldn't even call her. It got to the point where my mate said, you can't just not call her, she's lovely. And I was put more pressure on me. So I was so stuck in my head back then. It was so bad, my anxiety, that I got a pen and paper out and I began writing down what I was going to say to her. And it's looking back on it now, it's absurd, but it's great for me to see where I was, where I am now. So it has its benefit. I would write down what I'd say, what question I was going to ask her. And obviously, that's never going to work, is it? Because when you call her, whatever she says back is going to throw you off what you can say next. So you can imagine how the call went, not very good. So it got to the point where I with this as well, I didn't want to carry on live my life like this. So I remember my mum gave me this book one day that she had from when she was younger. And it was a book about, I remember this, I forgot the lady's name, Betty something. And she spoke about how to look at your thoughts. And she said that your thoughts is what determines the happiness of your life. And she gave these meditation exercises in there to do to help kind of break away from this pattern. So I thought, nothing to lose, can't feel any worse than I am. So I started reading the book, and the first exercise was a meditation she gave us. It's like a visual guided meditation where you shut your eyes and she guides you through like walking down some steps, going down to like a beach. You say a few things, and I came out of it and I was like, I felt a bit of relief from this mental prison that I'd created for myself. And it was that relief was like so beautiful and sweet. It was like there was hope for me. There was hope. So I read the whole book and I kept reading that book. And about a week or two later, I started to feel not so depressed. I feel like there was a light into the tunnel. So that book turned into 3 books, 5 different books, 10, 20. I don't know how many books I've got back in the UK in storage somewhere, but there's probably about 50, 60 books that I've got, all self-development books that I started reading. So that got me onto a good foundation to start to feel a bit more happier with myself. So another thing that I did to help me out was my father was really big into karate when he was young. He got to like a very high level, third dan, which is quite a high ranking in karate. So he took me to his old karate club, started doing that, absolutely loved it. Really gave me a lot of focus, taught me discipline, and that really helped me as well in a social aspect as well, like talking to other people and sparring and fighting. So that was really great. Then my father owned a lot of bars and restaurants. So he said to me, why don't you come work in the bar one night as a bartender? And I was like, I don't know if I'd like that, too many people. And although I was getting better, I wasn't fully, I hadn't fully dealt with my social anxiety then. It was improved, but not to the point where I could say, right, yeah, I'm going to go work in your bar with loads of people on a Friday night. Anyway, I did it. did it, and it went all right. So I started doing that every week. That really helped. And it was just a number of things that I started doing where, as you know, as one door opens, you start to overcome one area, you think, right, I can do that, I can do this now. So you start facing other little fears that you thought you can never do. You start speaking to people, you start initiating a conversation you never do before. You start not to tremble and stutter, like I used to have a really bad stutter. That disappeared. And I started to, I began meditating. I found a teacher. I started doing meditation called a TM, which stands for Transcendental Meditation, and that helped even more. So these are the main things that I was doing. There was a number of other things. I joined a basketball team. I got to county level tennis. I started doing Krav Maga for 5 years, 3 times a week. I only stopped that a few years ago because my instructor did stop doing it. So yeah, I did them because I didn't want to carry on being as I was. So I identified. I was lucky. I was asking questions in my mind. I was asking the universe, so to speak, how can I sort this out? And I listened, and I was watching, looking around, and I was given books. I was told to come here. Hey, try this. Hey, come to this class. And it's only now recently I worked out that was me asking, and I was given the answers. When you really want something bad enough and you're open to it, you need to pay attention. And all around us is what we need. If we're ready for it and we're open and we're willing to take action, I believe everything we need is around us. So they are the main activities that I did to help overcome my, I can call it, very extreme social anxiety. And whether it was depression or manic depression or clinically depressed, I never got diagnosed for it by a medical professional to label it correctly, but I wasn't enjoying my life. I knew that much. I was not enjoying my days all through my teens, well into my 20s. I didn't enjoy life. It was horrible. It was horrible. So yeah, that's basically, to answer your question, what I did.
I'll tell you what, man, you've got one of those stories, Kieran, that is so fascinating and so relatable and so honest. I could listen to it for hours. Honestly, mate, just a real treat to hear your story. And I didn't know some of the things you said, even though I've known you for a long time now. We've had loads of great, really honest self-help, personal development conversations. That's going to help so many people on this channel. They're going to really be moved by that, the honesty and the courage. And I really relate to your story. I'm trying very hard when I interview people to not speak about myself. I feel that just feels right for me. But when you said you were petrified to step out into the living room to see your family, I think every person who suffered with social anxiety is going to put their hand up and go, that was them, because I went through that too. So I know how terrifying that is and frightening, but you overcame it. You know, you're proof that you can do it, which is amazing. I think you said something back then I heard you say, which was really compassionate. I really liked it, Kieran, that even though you thought it was bad back then, it wasn't actually bad. You know, I try and tell people that it doesn't make it bad because you are scared of being judged or you have social fear. It doesn't deem you a bad person. It's you're a human and we go through stuff. So yeah, the whole story was just brilliant, man. That was wow. If anyone's listening, I don't really have to add to what Kieran was saying, and so many things I didn't know about. That's why I love interviewing people, even really good friends, because I learned things that I didn't know. So I wanted to move on actually about where you're staying now, because we've spoken about it, and I want to talk about where you're at now. And I had quite a few clients in the past who are fascinated with where you're staying, and you've told me about it, and we can kind of connect your journey onto actually where you got to now, the country that
Sure.
you're in now, and so I know you have a good connection with it. So where are you now? What's
Yeah. So right now I live in Bangkok, which is the capital city of Thailand.
Right.
For those that don't know, so I used to live here back in 2006 to 2008. I moved out here back then because I was so tired of going from job to job to job that I hated. My friend that lived out here already said to me, look, why don't you just come out here for a little bit, come out for a month, just clear your head, get away from the UK a little bit. I got a job for you in office here. So I did it and I ended up staying for 2 years, absolutely fell in love with the country. And then after 2 years, that job, that company ended for whatever reason it was. And I couldn't find another job that, you know, had that kind of salary, that security of a company. So I was almost like, thought, right, okay, let's go back to the UK. My plan was to find a job there that, you know, this time hopefully I'll get lucky. I thought to myself, I'm going to find one that I like, paid well. Let's save up and let's come back here and try again. Well, I stayed in the UK and it happened again. That was when I started finding jobs I didn't like doing again. And that led me up to finding out about the World Internet Summit. And that was when that journey started for me about 10 years ago. So coming back to present now, why am I back here, right? Why am I living in Thailand again? I came back here for a holiday 3 years ago for a month. And I was like, I was living in London at the time. I came back here and I was like, wow. Thought to myself, I love London. To me, it's the best city in the world. How the history of the place, each area is different, the vibe's different. I just love everything about it, the cosmopolitan aspect of it, the food, everything about it. I love it. But in Thailand, if you've not been here, to me, it almost feels like magical. I want to give it that cheesy, you know, woo-woo word about it. To me, it is everything that I would want in an environment. For me, I love the sun. I like nice weather, and I can walk out my apartment here, and I'm guaranteed sunshine every day of the year. Rainy season, you might get a bit of grey clouds. Won't last long. Back to sunshine and heat. It has beaches, beautiful islands that I love. We're talking nearest one an hour away. If you want to go to the real nice ones, 4, 5, 6 hours. The best in Thailand down south, you're looking at 8, 9 hours. But still, they're here all year round. You've got Thai food here, which I absolutely love. You know, costs next to nothing. There is, you can get massages here, full body massages, head massages. We're talking like an hour's worth for 200 baht, 4 UK pounds, $5 to your American fans. There's a whole aspect here. You have the rural areas, you've got your waterfalls, you've got your jungles, you've got your towns, you've got your temples, and it's just a beautiful life. Like I'm settled here, and for me, I'm lucky that I've got a business where I can operate from anywhere on earth that has Wi-Fi and a plug socket. I'm good to go, basically.
Wow,
I had this in mind. Years ago. I had this in mind that I wanted this lifestyle, and there was moments I thought it should have happened by now. Should have happened by now. Should have happened by now. But I just thought to myself, you have to keep going, because what's the alternative? What, to give up and go back to where you were? I was like, no, that's not an option. That's never going to happen. I can't continue living how I was. So the only choice I have is to keep going. And by having that attitude of to keep going, I knew that it was going to happen, and I'm not where I want to be yet in terms of my goals. You know, I've got a long way to go in terms of where I want to go in my businesses, helping others, and personally where I want to go on my journey as well. Maybe not to do with helping people make websites and get them on page one of Google, etc., and their branding. There's other things that I think I need to explore within myself, and I believe that they will manifest themselves at the right moment, at the right time. So, yeah, that's basically. I'm living in Thailand for now. I'm not going to say I'm here forever, because I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I didn't know I was going to be here 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm thoroughly enjoying it here. It's great.
Wow. It's yeah. It's no. It sounds like even talking to you, the energy feels great about it. You're a very calm guy anyway. Even we're in London, but you seem a lot calmer to me in Thailand. The whole energy, even the room that you're in, that nice view behind you, it just seems like it's at a different pace for London. You know, the way of life, the people. I haven't even been there, just from what you've told me, and being a little bit intuitive and emotional. It just seems slower, more relaxed. I could definitely do a massage, man. I've got stiffness on my shoulders, my back. I love Asian food, man. You know, like you. Wow, so many things you can go. We're coming towards the end. You know what, Kieran? No pressure. I've got to get you on the real podcast show. I've got to do an in-person interview with you and some of the other people that I've brought on. But I'm grateful that we could still make the format work today within the lockdown and everything. We won't go into it too much, Kieran. I was going to say, in the last 7 months, have you got any tips that you could give someone to handle stress during lockdown? Because it's obviously been challenging for a lot of people for all the obvious reasons, but I know you're very positive. We've been sending WhatsApp messages, communicating, but is there some things that you've done to get you through this difficult time and keep yourself motivated with business, with life? I suppose you kind of answered that question, right? Thailand's helped you because of the atmosphere, but anything you can add that people might help someone at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate fully that some people will be finding the lockdown very
really tough.
Really tough, yeah, really challenging, and I can see it taking, being a strain on people mentally and physically. Now, what I would do is I'd have a routine where I would wake up in the morning reasonably early. You don't need to wake up too early, maybe 7, half 7, and I'd go for an hour and a half walk around the city of Bangkok in the morning, and I would walk. At the same time, I'd really use it to kind of like relax and zone out, to kind of really feel my breath. Don't get inside my head, but really just look at the trees, look at the birds, walk down by the river. Do that every day. Come back, do a few stretches, a few sit-ups. Then I would get on and look at my businesses, and then I'd think about growing new ones. So I would use the lockdown time extremely productively, because there probably won't be another time on the history of this earth that we will have such a bizarre and unusual event happen to us, where we have all this time on our hands. So I appreciate people that watch, and I respect their choice to watch box sets on Netflix and spend all their lockdown watching them, or spend time scrolling through Facebook and this other app, what's it called, TikTok. That I respect, if those people are happy to do that and don't have any desires or aspirations to move forward from where they are now. And if they're comfortable where they are in their lives, then to me, they've won, because that's where they want to be. So I respect them. But for those that complain about how shit their lives are and how unfulfilled they are, and they keep saying that they want to have this better life, but are using the lockdown for entertainment purposes and not bettering themselves. And to me, that's a great shame, because life is passing us by. The years are getting quicker. They feel quicker anyway, and it's all out there now for the tape. It is. I do believe anything is achievable with the right work ethic, focus, determination, belief system. I do believe that you can achieve within reason how you want your life to be. So that is how I was treating the lockdown. I was making the most of it. I was utilizing it for I was looking at it as a gift from the governments, from our elite governments. Whatever theory you've got on the lockdown, which is, I won't go into now, it's not the time or the place for me to give my beliefs on it, but for whatever reason they give us this lockdown opportunity, I recommend people use it wisely, use it positively, spend it with your loved ones, your friends, communicate, give out, serve, do things for free, give value, exercise, meditate, think clearly, eat well, and you'll get through it.
Yeah, I love it. I agree. What I got from that is gratitude. And I don't know if you found this, Kieran, as I'm getting older. It doesn't necessarily mean older in age. I'm just getting really grateful for the small things, you know, family, friends. What we're doing now, I've been talking with friends about positive things, like being able to go and get a coffee, you know, having a place to stay, food, health. I think you're right. You've got to be grateful for the things that you have. As we're coming to the end, I want to talk about what you actually do in your business. So you can, one of the things I want to do, everyone I bring on this show, I want them to make people aware of what they do, what their business is, how it can help people. And obviously, if people are interested and they want to work with you, they want to buy your products, they want to get your help, we can send them to the right place. And so, yeah, I know you said when I brought you on the show, Kieran, you wasn't really fussed about talking about that, but I really want you to talk about your business and the products, because I know what you do is brilliant and it really does help people.
Yeah, so what I do is I own a marketing agency, and we specialize in helping new businesses and current businesses to basically improve their marketing to generate more customers, more business.
Right.
But we focused in a very particular niche. Now, we won't just work with any company or business. We work with service provider businesses and tradespeople, tradesmen. So any business that provides a trade or a service, whether that is a builder, a plumber, a carpenter, a barber, a massage therapist, a landscape gardener, we got a car rental company. We do painter and decorators, roofers. So any business that provides a service, we will look at your business and we will identify areas where we can suggest to you that if you change this will generate more leads. If you change this, you'll get more website traffic. If we tweak this, your Facebook page will get more active. So we look at those areas. If you're someone that has a job that they want to get out, or they want to do their own thing and they're not sure exactly what to do, then we can also help people identify a potential business idea, take their idea, and we can manifest it into real life. We can take what you've got and make it into choose you a name, a brand, a logo, build you a website, get you website traffic, do your SEO. So we do both. We help current businesses and we can help people that want to start their first business and are unsure of the direction in which to go with that.
No, that sounds great. Is that the Success for Traders, the company you're talking about?
Yeah. So the company's called Success for Traders,
Right.
4 as in the number 4, as opposed to FOUR.
So I will leave links so you can follow up if you want to get in contact with Kieran. Yeah, is there a website address? I mean, you can send me the links. I'll put them underneath this video.
Yeah. I'll send it over to you. But the address is www.successfortraders.co.uk.
Right. I'll put the link in the description so people can reach out. Any other businesses that you've got? Because you said you've got several that you can make people aware of if they need any help.
Yeah, I mean, I can also teach. I do training. I do Skype coaching or whatever, or
That's
WhatsApp
great.
coaching.
That's great.
I teach people how to get into drop shipping. If people want to build a website where they can sell products without having to put down any money up front in buying stock,
wow,
because you get paid first, then I can teach them the whole process of how to choose a niche, build the website, find suppliers they can have trade agreements with, get traffic to their store and start making sales. Then I teach that as well. So there's
that's great.
The brand in the website's the agency, and there's also drop shipping / e-commerce, because drop shipping is a branch of e-commerce, online retail websites.
That's brilliant. You know, it's funny because the name of this show was actually, you helped me, Kieran, to find a name. You sat down, I think it was a year or 2 years ago in St. James's Park, and I wanted a new idea to start a different project. You said you need a name, Johnny, a brand name that can really reflect the message that you're putting out. And then I said, become fearless. And you went, that's perfect. That's it. So I'm very grateful that you helped me with your skill to come up with that brand and name. So I wouldn't have come up with it if I didn't have that conversation with you, Kieran. You didn't probe me and inspire me and make me understand. So that's great. I'll leave links below then for the drop shipping if people are interested in that. And if they want to contact you for Successful Traders, it's been great having you on. We'll have to do another one, but I really enjoyed it. It was brilliant. You know, all of the things you said will really help people. So thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been great talking to Kieran from Thailand. Make sure you subscribe, like and share this page. And I'm sure you got loads of things out of this interview. And I'm still improving it as an interviewer as well. But I've really enjoyed today. And hopefully, I think it's going well. I can get Kieran in an in-person interview when you come back to London. So thanks for coming on, Kieran. I really appreciate it, mate.
Johnny, thank you so much for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. I'll talk to you for a couple of minutes when we finish this interview. So yeah, that's great. Hopefully, yeah.